Hi, I'm Lee Romney, and you're listening to the Podlomania Photography and Video Podcast with your hosts Wayne Johns and Jake Hicks, a pair of very top blokes.
Welcome to Podlomania Podcast, your photography and video podcast, where we introduce you to some of the most amazing creatives from around the world. I'm your host, Wayne Johns, and I'm here all on my own today. There's no Jake Hicks, everybody. He's lying on a beach, soaking up some sun after he's got his hair cut. No, that's not true. Jake's not here today. Jake's busy, so we're running solo today, but we're still going to have a very fun episode with a very fun guest. And we're going to be talking about lighting, cameras, action, those kind of things today. We're sat here, or I'm sat here rather. See, I still talk as though Jake's here. I can't have that. Here's my good friend, buddy, and co-host Jake Hicks, because he's not in the room. But today we do have the very charismatic Lee Romney, who's the regional business development manager from Arri here in the UK. And we're going to be talking about some of Arri's best products, what's happening in the world of motion image after lockdown, and why are Arri products so damn good is one question. And my fun topic for the day is a light that was released about a year ago, one of Arri's new products called the Orbiter, which if you're a stills photographer, that's a whole interesting bag of fun. And if you're in the moving image world, then you already know about it anyway, because it's one of Arri's add-ons, which, you know, their product range is phenomenal to begin with. Now, before we dive into the show, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Podcorn for sponsoring this episode. Now, if you're a podcaster and like us, you've been looking to include some advertising in your show to help monetize your channel and also give your listeners a little extra value as well, but you're not really sure how to get advertisers, then Podcorn could be the place for you. And if you're anything like us, you don't have a lot of time to go out and source advertising clients to fulfill some of those pre-show and mid-roll ads, or even if you don't know where to start with something like this is where Podcorn makes it very easy for you. So who's Podcorn, I hear you say? Well, Podcorn is a marketplace connecting podcasters to amazing podcast sponsorship opportunities, such as host-read ads, interview segments, topical discussions, and even more. And with Podcorn, there's no middleman. That's the good thing. So podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on the platform. You can even set your own rates and collaborate with brands directly without any exclusivities. You don't give up any of your rights to your podcast, and Podcorn is there to support you every step of the way and ensure that you're protected and compensated for the work that you do for your brands. The marketplace mission is to give podcasters transparency, creative freedom, and full control of how and when we monetize. Good news for us for a change. So if you want to know more about Podcorn and you want to get into a little bit of advertising for your podcast to perhaps, top up that revenue, then click on the link in my show notes to sign up to Podcorn and start browsing sponsorship opportunities. You'll find it very easy, very intuitive, and lots of clients on there for you to look at, which are updated on a regular basis. But before we get into the show, I'd like to give a huge thanks out to Podcorn for sponsoring this episode. And I hope you get a chance to pop over to the website and explore the sponsorship opportunities to start monetizing your podcast. And you can find the link, podcorn.com/podcasters in the show notes. So folks, let's get back into it. Welcome to episode 48. And as I said, today we're talking to the very charismatic Lee Romney, who's the regional business development manager of Arri here in the UK. Now, most of us know who Arri are, but for those that may not be that familiar, Arri are one of the biggest producers and providers of lighting, cameras, cinema lenses, and camera accessories for the still and motion picture world on the planet. They've been making these glorious products for well over 100 years. So if you watch TV or films, then there's one hell of a chance it was either filmed or lit with an Arri product somewhere along the line. Now, I know on occasion Lee appreciates a very fine ale or two, as well as some good food to go with it. But the personal stuff aside, this guy knows a thing or two about Arri cameras and lighting, despite the confused look on his face in front of me right now.
No pressure there. Yeah.
Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here. Yeah.
That's good. It's good. I mean, it was quite short notice for you, this one, wasn't it?
It was a little bit, yeah, but maybe that's the best way to do it. I'm not sure. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, we'll soon find out. Yeah, my fingers are typing questions like crazy. Now, Lee, before we get into it, now, for our audience, how would you describe yourself and what you do?
Myself? Well, that's an interesting one. Well, what I do, I mean, I'm responsible for lighting sales primarily for the UK and Scandinavian markets for Arri. Now, in my particular position, I look after our distributors throughout those regions, rental companies who rent into the film and TV industry mostly, and also a little sideline is photography, which is an expanding sort of area for us. Something we're really interested in doing more into. Hence, getting to know you. That's where we met. Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, and for our listeners, if you do not know. If you haven't looked at my site, I am an Arri ambassador on the still side, on the photography side, and have been for a few years now.
3 or 4 years, yeah.
3 or 4 years now, yeah. And I think here, I think we're going to urge people to, you don't always have to rely on strobe and flash and everything else. Continuous light is glorious. What you see is what you get. And if you haven't, then go and try it, because it will open your eyes a little bit, and it is so beautiful to light with. Obviously, you're restricted if you're outdoors and stuff, unless you've got big lights. But if you're in studio spaces, give it a shot. It's fun, for sure. Okay, now, just as insight for you, our listeners are very broad, from, amateurs and novices to enthusiasts right through to pro level, all across the world. And we go out in over 36 countries on the podcast. So we cover a lot of genres here in terms of skill sets. Arri also run educational programs as well, don't they, to help?
That's right. Yes, we do. We do throughout most places where we're active in the world. We try and do education is a big thing for us, and it's something we want to expand. And that we do, there's the Arri Academy actually, which is, you can look up details online of various courses which we do: camera courses, camera techniques, lighting techniques, even into some post production a little bit as well. So all of those courses are available to book on the website and under Arri Academy. You can book those in a lot of places wherever we hold them. Some are free, some are chargeable, but they're really good for education. We get professionals in to help us along the way as well. And we hold masterclasses at various international exhibitions and seminars and places like that too. So we're very keen on education. I think it's the key for a lot of things way forward.
Yeah, indeed. Now, for our listeners that may not be so experienced, can you summarize what Arri provides in the stills and motion picture world in general?
In motion pictures probably is definitely our key sort of market. It's one we've been active in for getting on 100 years. It's changed over the years. It's changed from different technologies, and we keep up with technologies and the way things progress. We've gone through all tungsten. We do tungsten range and HMI range, and of course LED is now a huge part of our lighting business for sure. And in the stills world, it's become continuous light has become much more of a thing certainly in the last 5 years. It's really exploded. People are coming away from strobe, away from flash, because they are appreciating that the setup is not as perhaps complicated as they might have thought it was. The ease of use is much simpler nowadays.
Yeah.
And it is basically, you see what you get. You kind of know what you're looking at before you press the shutter.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's really convinced people that continuous lighting for stills is a way forward.
Yeah, a lot of people get scared of it, don't they? Scared of what they don't know, I guess.
Yeah, it can be easy to be scared, but I think sometimes you just have to try it out, and most people are converted straight away.
Yeah,
I think it's a no-brainer in some cases.
I think from experience in the non-pro world, if you want to say the enthusiast market or the pro-am markets, people get scared of it because it's like, hey, photographers I'm talking about here. They all want the fastest shutter speed and the shortest flash duration burst rate and 20 frames a second, and they want flash to do that and overpower the sun all in one go and HSS and
all the easy stuff.
Yeah, all easy. And I think a lot of people forget that we never came from those realms, but continuous light is still a major factor in everything we do. Even me as a commercial photographer still use continuous light against flash, and it's not be scared of it. Don't think that you always need to get the highest performance out of your camera and every damn shutter speed and every flash speed that you can get. I definitely urge people out there that aren't so experienced in continuous light, go out there and give it a go, because once you start modeling your light and shaping your light, you'll start painting beautiful scenes, especially in studio, that you didn't really realise that you could do without flash.
It's a learning curve for some people, but I think it's not such a steep curve that the people might think it is. And I think when the way that, especially the modern version lighting, especially LED lighting, is adaptable in different ways. You can just change your color temperature or even your saturation color just at a touch of a switch. You can play around with so many different scenes in such a short space of time.
Yeah.
Just at the touch of a button. Something you could never do before with flash, or you can never do in other ways. So I think it's made in many ways life a lot easier and more creative.
Yeah, certainly creative. And just as a sort of overview of like the Arri lighting system, the LED stuff, you can change your white balance, your color temperature of your light, anything from like 2,800 degrees Kelvin right up to 10,000 degrees Kelvin.
20,000 Kelvin.
20,000 degrees Kelvin now in some of the later ones. Which you can't do with flash or strobe. You're governed at what that manufacturer is providing, which is around your daylight balance, give or take a few hundred degrees Kelvin. And, you're governed by the white balance in your camera. But, you can set your white balance and Kelvin control in your light and your saturation levels and your color effects and everything else all in these lights. And the Arri systems have that embedded in at just the highest class possible, which is awesome.
Yeah, the effects are also really something, especially for video as well, which is something that's going to be really taken off too. Various effects that you can do in our LED lights and lightning effects and strobing if you wanted to, paparazzis, lightning effects, as I said. Lots of different techniques and colors you can do. It really makes brings the creative side out in people, really. People start finding things that they didn't think they could do before, and finding it's actually easy to do as well.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, there's a lot to be had there, and if you do any BTS stuff as well, then obviously your continuous lighting will obviously film that for you at the same time because what sees what you get.
Absolutely, yeah. 2 in 1.
Now we're going to go dive into a bit more of the lighting in some of the other questions, but just for those out there, obviously anybody that's a pro in the industry will know this information already. But for those that may not have this kind of knowledge now, Arri also has a global rental division as well, don't they?
We do, yes.
Yeah.
Global rental is a big part of our business as well. Yeah,
major part. On that note, how have things been coming out of lockdown? I mean, you're seeing a lot of productions starting back up now and racing to the surface to get back on track.
Oh, there's such pent up demand. It really has taken off. It's rocketed. Yeah, it really has. Studio space is rare to come by, especially studio space of any size.
Okay.
Anything's booked up for weeks, months in advance.
Just making a note of that.
Yep.
Buy a new industrial building.
Buy
studio
building,
space.
absolutely. Convert it quickly. Yep, absolutely. You're amazed how many industrial units are now studios. It's true. Yeah, the pent-up demand really exploded. All the new streamers and broadcasters, Netflix, Prime Video, what have you. They just are crying out for content. You just can't get it on the screen quick enough at the moment.
Wow.
There's movies too. There's a huge backlog of movies to come out of the cinema still. But, the COVID was a COVID situation, ongoing COVID situation is still affecting things in some ways. But most productions have learned a new way of working, learned a safe way of working. And now that they've adapted to these new practices, the productions are back again. Testing, obviously, and all this kind of stuff, and the new ways they found to provide everybody a safe environment has really meant that there's nothing to hold us back anymore.
Nothing to hold back. Everything's back in full swing.
Yeah, everything's back.
But obviously, everybody's in demand now.
Everything's in demand. Yeah. There's still some issues.
That must be good for you guys, but a nightmare and a pain in the ass at the same time.
It's a double-edged sword for sure. Yeah, it's the demand is there. That's great, but at the same time, there are supply chain issues. Affecting lots of different manufacturers in lots of different angles, lots of different areas of industry. Car manufacturers, game manufacturers, anything to do with electronics is difficult to come by still. But those things will eventually improve. But in the meantime, it's a bit of a painful experience. But it's a good one to have for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and I know what you mean. It's a lot of companies are struggling to get electronics parts, and As we discussed off air earlier, I'm trying to buy a new PS5 and I can't because I can't bloody get hold of them. Like
if anyone's got one to sell, Wayne's a buyer.
But I'm not paying over the odds. So if you want to do that, you can keep it. Thank you very much. I'll wait. Okay, so let's just jump over to cinema cameras. What would you say is the most used model of cinema camera that Arri got?
Alexa, our digital camera platform, has been mainstay for certainly drama for many, many years now. I think in one recent survey, I think it was maybe the 2019 survey, I remember seeing last out of the 30 top broadcast drama productions on UK television, I think 28 were filmed with Arri Alexa.
Wow.
It's a go-to camera for things like that, and large format, also in cinema as well. It's I think, and again in the last 10 years or so, I think 7 or 8 of the Oscar winners for cinematography were shot with Arri cameras too.
Arri cameras.
So it's well known in the industry. People know what they can do with it.
Yeah.
People are well used to the ease of use, ease of interface, ease of post production, and people are renting it all over the place, buying it all over the place. It's a go-to camera
because they're not cheap, are they?
They're not, no. But it's just like in most things, you get what you pay for.
And just as an example, for our non-experienced people, a photography world that may be sort of now showing an interest in motion picture, and wanting to go outside of the DSLR world for 4K footage. As a rough guide, because I know it changes in different countries, but as a rough guide here in the UK, what's a base level Arri Alexa?
I suppose just the body only, you're talking in £25,000-30,000.
You see,
like that.
You see, folks, it's not that expensive at all. Yeah. You don't get nothing with it, but
it's something to aspire to, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's not cheap for a reason. There's a reason why the whole movie and TV industry use cameras like that. It's completely different than our DSLRs that we use for stills. And on the flip side, obviously with the lighting products, now I know sky panels are huge.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, just jump online and look at Arri sky panels. I use them here even for stills. The S30s are a good favourite of ours for smaller productions, good things just for lighting control. And their output is brilliant for that. But obviously, design is a motion picture, like really, and with all the effects. So sky panels are huge in terms of popularity, and the motion picture world and TV. Are they the most popular sky panels, or what is the most popular?
I'd say they are hugely popular. I think if you went to most studio spaces at the minute, you'd be surprised if you never saw blue and silver sky panels in large numbers in some places.
Yeah,
it's a sort of thing that's become almost a generic sort of light. Sorry, I should say for light in spaces.
Yeah,
it's been fantastic. We've sold huge numbers all over the world. Still continuing to sell great numbers as well. It's become a go-to fixture.
Yeah,
and we're very, very happy with it. Very proud of it. Continuing to develop it as well. I know it's been out a few years now, but production as well as development continues. Things will improve and change around as times go by.
Yeah,
but I think you'd be hard pressed not to find a sky panel on some studio lot somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, you're always improving not just hardware but firmware as well. New technologies and new effects and everything else, color wise, color accuracy and everything else that goes with that. I mean, we can't cover in depth what those damn things do, your color science and everything else that goes into the system. So if anyone's interested, go and research it online. There's plenty of amazing videos to watch of what those things can do. And I've seen like banks of like about 200 of them linked to a lighting desk for lighting effects for pop videos and things, and it's phenomenal. When you link all those together, the control you can have. So yeah, sky panel is probably one of the most popular.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been our biggest selling product for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
LED in general has just has increased as a huge part of our business in the last I don't know, 5-8 years, I guess something like that.
Yeah.
It's now a huge part of our business. It's really taken off. The ease of use, the green angle as well. The green angle is very, very important for a lot of people.
Yep.
A lot of studios and a lot of production it has to be certified green nowadays. Which is a fantastic thing, obviously, and sky panels will help you achieve that. The low energy, very low energy. You can even run from batteries if you need to.
Yeah,
you're not talking mains power, huge numbers, or huge generators, diesel chugging generators, and things like that.
Yeah,
so much like you may have done in years gone by.
Yeah.
So the green angle is very, very important in studio as well. It's sort of taking a large down curve on your costs as well. Even air conditioning costs. Air conditioning costs in studios are a lot less because you're not running hot lights. All that is huge cost saving to producers and to productions all over.
And what you say is most popular size?
S60.
S60.
The 2x1 basically shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
The S60C is by far the most common product in the line.
Yeah.
We do 4 different sizes of sky panel up to the 360, the largest one.
Which is ginormous.
Which is huge, which is and extremely bright.
And to let people know, I shot that in Oh, where were we?
That we were, was it Copenhagen again? No,
it wasn't Copenhagen.
No, sorry, in Italy.
Italy. We were in Italy, and I
Yep.
shot that outdoors, the 360, and I used it as a key light to overpower the sun. That's how powerful that beast is. Yeah,
that's a chunk.
Beautiful shots, and those shots are somewhere on my website. If we're looking at them. But yeah, but the 120 bigger. Okay, I was surprised at that. I thought the 30 would probably be most popular, but
no, 60 is definitely the go-to 60. One. Yeah, that's the huge number we sell. Yeah, all of the range are popular, but 60 by far outstrips the rest.
Yeah, understandable.
It was the first one we launched. So it kind of grabbed people's imagination in that kind of 2x1 form.
Yeah.
And it's really taken off.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's putting out to people, those that aren't aware of Arri products, I mean, they're built like absolute tanks. They are built to last, and there's a reason why they are so good in the industry is because they're not lightweight. They're made of materials that are going to take a battering in film trucks and film sets and everything else. They've got to, or else there'd be a lot coming back. But they are built like tanks. So any of you, photographers that may want to delve into that world, just be aware you're not going to fit one in your backpack. Definitely not an S60 or a 120. And they do come with a power ballast as well that you need to run them from if you're not using the battery.
After it, and it will serve you well.
Exactly. But it will last for years, and it does so much. And a misconception on the photographer side of things, a lot of people think it's an LED light, it's square and everything else, but there are still modifiers for it. You can still use softboxes and octoboxes and octobanks and things like that for them.
Sure. Yeah.
China bowls and things like that, and lanterns. The array of accessories for them is phenomenal. They wouldn't be using them in the film world if there wasn't.
That's right. Yeah, I mean the accessory range has just grown and grown over the years. People have given us ideas for things that they want, and we've had ideas of our own for new accessories and new types of modifiers and ways to do things. And in partnership with some companies that we've been lucky to partner with, and some of our own developments, we've come up with lots of different ways of changing the beam, changing the outputs to adapt it to whatever you need. Yeah. And that's a big part of our business now.
No easy feat, is it? Doing changing the beam of an LED.
It's not, no, but it's all cleverly worked out. There's a science behind it, of course. So there's also practicalities behind it as well.
Yeah,
and they all work really well. All of the accessories make what seems to be a flat panel light into something that's not. It's something much more adaptable, and much more usable in lots of different areas.
Yeah, and I know there's lots of photographers out there, non-pros that won't have experience in continuous light, are going, yeah, but it's LED. Guys, they've been using it in the movie industry for years and years and years, and the biggest blockbusters in the whole world and TV programs. Don't worry about it. Okay, it'll work fine. It'll work fine. Trust me. Now, following on from that, me joking just now about not fitting on your backpack and stuff, and obviously at the start of the show we said about Arri being interested in the stills world, the photographic world, if you want to call it like that. And this is a question that's come through from the photographic side of the world, not the moving image world. Okay. And one you guys probably get asked a lot. And that is, will Arri ever make a compact and lightweight series of lights aimed purely at the photographer market?
Well, the option's always there, of course. We're famous, as you say, for making some products of big build quality, if I can get my words out. At a price, but and it's not every industry that can afford that or do that. But anything's possible. I mean, if the demand is there, if the price point is right, all those things can be done. It's only a case of development.
Yeah,
we have R&D people looking at all sorts of products all of the time, and where we can see something, an opportunity to give creative people another tool to use, then. Yeah. Like I say, if demand is there and the product is right for the market, then we could do it for sure.
Yeah,
why not? Anything's possible.
Yeah, well, it would be nice, but obviously, when you get something that becomes lightweight, then obviously you affect its build quality, don't you, and its durability. So it comes at a price.
It does come at a price. Yeah. The build quality is paramount to us. We don't make cheap and simple and flimsy things. That's for sure. We're not known for that in any way. No. Never have been. It's not something we do, but
so that's a no then, folks. You've heard that.
If you can afford it, it's doable.
That's a no. They're going to stay with robust and build quality. That's a no. And I don't blame them because who wants flimsy lights? You have to keep replacing them.
Well, that's right. Even going back to, older technologies, if you like, tungsten and HMI products. Some of those things are still working 20 years later. We'll guarantee parts are available.
Yeah.
Even after we discontinue or stop making a product, we will continue to guarantee spare part availability for 10 years after that. Some of these things last forever.
A long time. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen lights in studios that have been there for 7 years that have been bench tested, and the white balance is a couple of Kelvin off after like 7 years of production in a TV studio. So phenomenal when you get something like that. If only the flash world was like that with flash tubes, it degrade over time.
That would have made your life easier.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I think that's a good segue to the middle of the show. Now, the middle of the show comes a bit of a surprise for you.
Oh, really?
Because this is what we call the rapid fire, not so rapid fire round. Okay. Now, that's basically, folks, if you're not aware of what that is, that's basically where we fire 10 random questions at our guest, our willing opponent. They may be a little bit related to the industry, or they may be completely not related at all. So you could learn something or learn absolutely zero. You ready for this?
Interrogation. Okay,
Interrogation time.
Let's go for it.
You're looking nervous.
Yeah, no more than usual.
Okay, rapid fire round. Here we go. Favorite meal?
Well, Mexican, I think.
Oh, Mexican. Okay. Favorite drink to go with that favorite meal?
Oh, it's got to be lager beer. Nice beer. Cold beer. Oh yeah.
Mexican beer?
Okay. Yeah, happy. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
It's smiling all the way.
Absolutely.
Smiling all the way.
Why not?
Can you water ski barefoot?
I've never water skied. I wouldn't even try.
Yeah, with skis or barefoot.
Yeah.
Don't feel the urge?
Not especially.
Have you ever dropped an Arri light and watched it break into little tiny pieces?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Share that one.
Down a flight of stairs. Yeah, that was quite a good one.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What light?
That was a small tungsten light. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a 300. So the glass was the first thing to go.
Was it for an hour lens?
Yeah.
Oh,
for an hour lens. Yeah, that cost a few quid to fix. Yeah.
I can imagine. And any damage to the stairs?
No, the stairs are fine. No,
knowing how well built they are.
Fine, yeah.
Mind you, what size are they? Do you remember what size?
300, I think it was.
Okay, so for those who don't know, that's one of the smaller ones, but they're still quite hefty.
Yeah, it's this aluminium construction. But when they were, I think it was 18 stairs or something like that. I must have bounced on every one, I think. But
oh no,
but a little bit of TLC at the end.
And after a replacement Fresnel lens, it was all
replacement lamp.
Yeah,
good to go.
Replacement lens, replacement lamp, and it's good to go. Look at that. No other breakages. You won't get that with many other lights.
Definitely not.
But not to be sniffed at, because if you were at the bottom of those stairs, you would have required hospital visit, wouldn't you?
Yeah. They did shout catch, but I don't think there was anybody at the bottom of the stairs to catch it. But,
yeah, to be fair, if I was at the bottom of the stairs, I wouldn't want to catch it either with that thing spinning around. Yeah, a bit of an impact. Okay, and for those who may not know, just off the back of that, Arri still make tungsten lights as well as LED lights. It's not all about LED. You need to go and look at their product range for that. Best moment on a film set?
Oh, okay. That's a good one. I think one of the more interesting ones was the visit in the set. I think it was Star Wars 7. 7. Force Awakens, I think it was. That's the one.
Okay. I'll take your word for that.
I think it was, I have a feeling it was, yeah. So that was quite interesting. See one of the mocked up part ships. That was quite interesting. Or the Bond, also saw a Bond stage one time fitted out as well. That was quite interesting. I think that was for the third Daniel Craig one, I think. Escapes me at the minute. But I think that was interesting.
Were they at Pinewood?
At Pinewood, yeah.
Both Pinewood, Pinewood, yeah. Okay. Nice. And was it a big set, a big mock-up then? Or what was?
Yeah. I mean, it's deceiving a little bit sometimes. You think it becomes on screen, it obviously looks like a huge deal and a huge
camera angles are great, aren't they?
Oh yeah. You can hide a lot in camera angles and clever lighting, of course. So it's perhaps not as big or impressive on when you see all the balsa wood behind it. It can look a bit different.
Oh gosh! Oh, where were we? Oh, so that was impressive then, being on sets like that. Were you there when they were rolling as well?
Just about to. Yeah, it was one of those. We could sneak our heads in the stage while things were going on. So
just as you get shouted out by the first.
Just poke your head around and get off quick. Yeah.
Yeah. How many bees does it take to make a jar of honey?
Oh, no idea. The thousands, I would think.
Yeah, and the good thing is I don't have an answer for that question myself either. We could say it was around.
You can make up any number you like. Who's to argue?
This is a light we're going to talk about in a minute, but what's your favourite thing about the Arri Orbiter?
The Orbiter, I just think it's the adaptability. You can take it anywhere and find a use for it. It's a point source. It's a large panel. It's a dome. Yeah. It's a softbox. It's whatever you want to do with it. Yeah. It's so adaptable. You can take it on any location, any job, and you'll find a use for it.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, we're going to talk about that shortly. Okay, you're on set, and the DOP has just been taken ill. Would you like to fill in for the day?
Depends if they want to actually have a finished product that looks anything, I suppose. There's probably people better qualified than me, I would think.
For the gaffer. Electrician.
Yeah.
First aid guy.
It's not time to quit to the bar, I think. That happens.
I think that's a good option, a good alternative, actually. What's the most lights you've seen used on the set?
Interesting. Well, we've seen some overhead rigs in some large studios of sky panels, mostly sort of 200, 300, rigged on a single stage, and a few different places. That's an impressive sight. And when you can control them all in sections or in blocks or in lines or rows as well, that can give you some interesting effects. That's an impressive sight.
Yeah. God, imagine being the guys to rig all that up.
Yeah.
Jeez. And the electricians as well, just running power for all of those.
Yeah, but in some ways, actually, with the LED, again, it makes it a lot easier because if you needed to change the scene to from a nighttime to a daytime scene, if it was a traditional tungsten scene, you would probably have to spend a day or two getting up on tops with cherry pickers and changing filters over.
In traditional gel filters, yeah.
You can do it at the touch of a switch.
From the control desk. Or an app.
Or even an app.
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
Jesus, yeah. Wow. Okay. Can you dance the Argentinian tango?
I'm not even sure I'd try that one either, to be fair. Looks impressive when you see it on TV, and you think, I could do that. And then you think, no, I couldn't. No.
He's like, that's what he's doing. Oh, so he's putting that like, I get it now. I get it. I'm just going to try it. That's
no, that's a bad idea. They kind of make it look easy sometimes, don't they? These people? I'm sure it's not.
Well, it's either that or water skiing barefoot.
Yeah, I'm not sure which I would rather try, to be fair. Well, probably something easier than that, yeah.
I think we'll go back to question 1 and 2. Our favourite meal and favourite drink, don't you? Sounds a lot more.
I think that's the way to go.
That's the way to go. Well, you'll be glad to hear you smashed the rapid fire, not so rapid fire round. Your 10 questions have been done, sir.
Yeah, thank you. That was nice.
You see, it wasn't that bad.
No.
It wasn't that bad.
Not at all.
Okay, let's get back to some serious stuff. Why do you think Arri lighting and camera products are so damn good? There's a question.
That's a question for us, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we spend a lot of time with development. I wouldn't say we're one of the quickest people sometimes to the market, but we take our time to make a product that people need, that people want to use. We try to look at everything from a user point of view and to give people what they're asking for. And of course, development, especially for software heavy products, can take a while. But we do a lot of testing. We do a lot of real world applications, real world processes, and we make products that people are using constantly. Will guarantee you a long life. Will guarantee your investment. Will be future proofed, and we'll update technology and the way things go like that. We'll always add accessories, always add features. We just make products that last. And that people have used all the world over for years and years, and we have a reputation for that. And that's also part of our USP, I suppose. We have a good reputation for our products throughout the industry. And that's built on hard work and listening to customers, listening to users. And hopefully giving everybody what they need, what they want.
Yeah, and on the back of that, both your lighting and your camera systems have won many awards throughout the world of film awards and everything.
They have, yeah, absolutely. We're an Oscar-winning company. We have. If you happen to turn up at the Munich headquarters for any particular reason, you'll find them there to see. Nice. It's an impressive looking site.
Gleaming in the cabinet.
Absolutely,
Lit with a couple of orbiters, maybe.
Lots of, there's lots of, I think they're on the head guard, actually. I'm not sure you can take one away with you.
No, it's that's the thing. I mean, the Arri name is like in serious production. If you want to say serious production, it's just almost go-to household name, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can pick up an Arri product, and I think you know what you're going to get. You're going to have something that will last, that will do what you want to do for it. that will feel good in your hands, intuitive use, and one that will last you a long time.
Yeah. And the thing is, just moving away from lights a little bit, obviously we go to the camera world, but also the Arri lenses as well in the cinema world, because we know as photographers, we've said this in a previous podcast, that people in the stills world look at the camera and they look at their software for color grading and stuff, whereas cinematographers look at different makes of lenses to help color grade and give that look and effect to their shots. Yes, they apply post-processing, but the cinematographer will choose a camera and a lens to help give them the effect they're looking for first before it even goes into post-processing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean the world of lenses is just another thing that's just exploded in the last few years. Recently, there's so many types of lenses that give you different looks, and people are looking for vintage lenses in some ways. And if you have
get that warm tone,
they'll give you different ideas, different looks, different features. Yeah, I mean, if you invest in lenses, if you invest in the right ones, they'll guarantee your investment for a while to come. Especially, you can't go wrong with lenses at the moment. They really are in demand.
And the thing is, it's a bit of a misconception in the photographic world. People look at the lens going, "How sharp is it? How sharp is it?" The digital world is too sharp. Yeah, it's too sharp. Digital cameras nowadays are too sharp. Sensors are too sharp. Lenses can almost be too sharp compared to what the human eye sees. And me and Jacob spoke about this before, of trying to get across that images don't always have to be pin sharp to be amazing.
Sure.
So even in the stills world, go out and experiment with some third-party lenses, some old glass and some lead-coated glass stuff that you can't buy anymore. Go out and experiment with those to see the effects and the results it gives you before you take it into processing, because it can be beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, sometimes I think you're absolutely right. Sometimes people can go away from a really sharp look, and they're looking for something completely different. They're looking for something that is softer, gives has a different look, a different color, even
different color,
anything like that. So some people just absolutely love those lenses. Would rather have those than new, modern, sharp lenses.
Yeah,
for the particular look they're trying to achieve.
That's it.
It's a very subjective thing. People are obviously going to look for different things in different whatever you're shooting. But it's something to explore, definitely.
Yeah, indeed. Go out there and experiment. I would say to especially stills people and people in moving image, go and experiment with different lenses, and cameras as well. As we know, cameras are different. Everybody goes, but you're shooting. I'm talking stills here. Yeah, you're shooting raw, but it's raw. Everybody's got to remember that even the manufacturer's raw is different per camera than the next manufacturer's raw. At the end of the day, the sensor doesn't record an image. It just records a lot of ones and zeros that are then translated through an algorithm to visually show us a picture. And that algorithm is what affects that raw data capture for those people in the stills world. So, just go out and experiment. Have fun with it. You'll be surprised. Go and play. That's what it's all about. Go and play, 100%. Now, you must have been involved in some major productions over there. How long have you been working for Arri? There's a question.
This is my 26th year, actually.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Don't look a day over 30, mate.
Oh, well, I did start when I was 12. So it's not too bad.
I don't know how the maths works on that one, mate.
It's my own particular brand of maths.
Yeah. So, especially in 26 years, then, you must have been involved in some major productions over the years. Can you tell us about one of your favourite ones?
Well, sometimes, I mean, it seems like it can be glamorous at times, but in most cases, we don't. A lot of cases, we don't see what's actually sometimes where these products end up. We can be particularly focused on just selling them and getting them to a customer that you don't always get to see where they're actually going. Unfortunately,
shipped in a crate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the way things are nowadays with secrecy around productions and things like that, it's sometimes
the NDAs
an effort to find out anything. No one really wants to tell you much information nowadays, but I mean, it's sometimes you get a bit of a buzz sometimes. You see things come out even in industry press of they're talking to cinematographers and gaffers, and you've seen a particular movie, and there's be a quote there that for this particular quote we use this Alexa camera and this particular lens, and then we lit the backdrop with some Arri HMIs and some Arri Maxes on here. We've shot some Arri Maxes through windows. We've had some sky panels in the ceiling, and you just think, that's interesting to know, and you can see the finished result on the screen as well, and that's really interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
and sometimes you can, even on the end credits, sometimes you can. I'm guilty of sometimes I sit and watch the end credits just to see who made that or who was a particular gaffer on. Okay, I met them, I know them, well, that particular, which particular rental company provided that? Okay, yeah, that's probably our products. And, guilty.
Still guilty.
I can watch some end credits.
Yeah, you watch it. All guilty of it. Yeah, it's and that's the thing with the lighting. You make tungstens, daylights, HMIs, LED. I mean, there's a whole range of stuff there.
Yeah,
which obviously we're not going to get into detail in any of those products and things. And photographers, unless you're working in commercial studios, you might have used HMI. I know I have in the past. Noisy little things. And the bulbs are very expensive.
Can be.
And don't always last as long as they should do.
Well, yeah. We don't manufacture bulbs, luckily.
Luckily, it wasn't an Arri product. So, but from there, I mean, I remember talking about sort of, major productions thing. I remember seeing an image of one of the Star Wars productions where they just purchased 2,000 Arri S60s, I believe, for making one of the Star Wars. Now, the photo I saw was actually all of the S60s just on metal racks on the wheels lined up through pine wood. And it was just like a gravy train. It just went on and on and on, all these lights. And I was just looking at those 2,000 lights thinking, holy shit, somebody's got to,
Yeah, it's nice to see something like that. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, me and Jake have this running commentary in still side of it. I love shooting with one light. Jake mocks it a lot. I know he's got a tutorial out of like shooting with one light at the moment. I'm going to pick him up on that next time. Whereas Jake with his coloured gel work still uses his gel packs on the strobes and flash. He's generally using 3 or 4 lights minimum for his in-camera work, in-camera creativity. So we always say that. I'd like to see what he thought about 2,000 bloody lights on strobes.
Blow his mind, I guess. Yeah,
blow his mind. Oh dear, yeah. I think they were 60s or what he has said.
More than likely,
I think they were 60s. Yeah. And I saw some of it in the rigging on set, and it just looked absolutely bloody phenomenal.
It's an impressive sight when you see something like that.
What a setup! Now moving on to lights and exciting things. You've brought me a present today, haven't you?
I have. Yes, you've got some new toys to play with.
Got some new toys to play with. Should we tell them what this new toy is?
Go for it.
I've got the Arri Orbiter today. It's hard to explain. Yes, it's LED. It's point source. It's a new light that came out about 2 years ago.
We first showed it around almost 2 years ago.
About 2 years ago. The only way I can sort of introduce you to it is just to go onto the Arri website and just go to the Arri website and look at the Orbiter. There's a lot of videos and promotional stuff on there about it. I tested this prototype for you guys nearly 2 years ago.
Must be, yeah.
In
Copenhagen.
Yeah, it was. Copenhagen was the first one, and that was a 3D printed version.
Yep.
And we had a big set and a setup and a couple of cars and things and some models, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Shooting all stills, trying to get everybody involved.
Yeah.
Trying to get the enthusiasm running there.
Dragging people in, yeah.
And that was really one of its first sort of looks in the still side of things, wasn't it?
For sure, yeah. Like I said earlier, it's one of the markets that we're looking to develop for us. And we think it's something we can help people with. And yeah, I mean, the Orbiter will suit any application basically, but I think because of the adaptability of it, you can take it into a lot of different areas, a lot of different angles of work, and I think you could have a success with it everywhere. And today we brought you along the Orbiter itself with some
full production model.
The full production model with some different types of optics and some different types of accessories, some beam shapers, some soft boxes and octadomes and new toys to play with, barn doors and snoots. So I'm waiting. I can't wait to see what you do with it.
I've been waiting for this for 2 bloody years. Since the prototypes, because one I had, like I said, was 3D printed, and it was unfinished at the time. Even firmware wasn't complete. So.
No, it wasn't.
And going back to that, I even in the prototypes and the 3D printed one, I was blown away by what that thing was offering. And its fixture is it's a round unit. It's a round face. It's a round mounting system on the front.
Yep.
For those in the photographic world, obviously the film world, you already know what it is because if you're in motion picture, you already be on top of these things. But in the stills world, the mounting system now is like a giant Bowen's S-type fitting. The S-type is very universal through all brands, so people will know what that kind of fitting is. So it's a bit like that, similar, but it's a lot bigger. And your soft boxes and your octaboxes, octabanks, everything else, strips, all fit in the same way. Now, the difference being is the connection mount on that has electronic contacts in there, which speak to the main orbiter head unit, doesn't it? Can you explain why it's got that in there for that?
Well, I think there's, even if some of the products, not some of these features are future for the future. There's much more of a connection now between lighting and camera, the electronic and interface between the two. So that will give us a lot more creativity. It will give us the option to connect camera and lighting more closely.
Gotcha.
You can do various things. You can collect metadata. You can collect different types of information into your recordings. You just simply from using that connection.
Gotcha.
There's lots in the back of the Orbiter. There's various connectors for SD cards and for also other connections like that. So you can also record details of your application and record details of what you're using. And sometimes that will be important for you.
Yeah.
Record scenes and different things like that. So there's some future proof built into the new Orbiter as well. More features will develop. And we see a side of that with control, basically from various apps or wired controls, that's going to be more and more important on sets and on in studios than ever before.
Yeah. And for those in the photographer that may not understand the term, because when we're reading out what accessory you brought today, you said you brought some various optics.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you just give us a brief description for our listeners that may not know what you mean by optics?
So the Orbiter itself is a point light source. So you have a point light source coming out of the head, and then by using different various types of optics on the front of there by the mount, which Wayne described, you can adapt to different types. So we manufacture 3 different types of optic at various beam angles. So we have a 15-degree beam angle, a 30 and a 60-degree beam angle. Yep. So simply by swapping those over, you can change your beam angle from those different various angles. By quick lock, quick twist, and those connectors, those optics can change over from one angle to another, or onto a box, onto an optic, or an Opta, or a soft box or something like that. So you can just change you've got a single output, you've got the same output point source, but you're adapting it into various different shapes and different sizes. Yeah,
I think for the lesser experience in the photographic world, the easiest translation of that, it's like having different reflectors, as we term them in our industry. Reflectors, obviously you can buy different reflectors that have different angles. So we have a 65 degree, a 50 degree, or a 55 degree, and things like that. If I think it's the easiest way to understand it if you can't visually see the product. So if you look at in the motion world, the optics as our reflector differences is a kind of similar thing, but these things are bigger and longer, and they're built in a completely different way with multifaceted surfaces and angles and everything else to help project that light out in that beam angle.
That's what gives you the creative side.
You
can do so much more with it. You can take it into, like I say, virtually any location, and you're going to find a use for it.
Yeah. So in that respect, a bit like a reflector, but completely not.
That's confused everybody, I'm sure.
That's confused everybody. And the good thing is, these things you can the Orbiter you can control via an app, and all the functionality. It's got the same functionality as all the sky panels and everything else, and more.
It does.
And you can control it via it's remote control via the USB cable. That goes in through it, or wirelessly and everything like that. So you've got huge control over this.
Yeah, because control is becoming much more of an important issue really for lighting in general. And the options you can have here from like the wired remotes, wireless remotes, and through various apps or interfaces, then I think that's going to be a huge thing going forward. It's developing into a big thing already.
And, I've been so excited for this, and to have so many accessories today and attachments and modifiers. I'm stoked, to be honest. I'm stoked. There's going to be so much content coming out online with this stuff, where I've got to put it to use and think up some beautiful creative situations to use all these modifiers. It's just awesome, and I've got to thank you guys for that. It's been great. On that note, why is the Orbiter different? How is the Orbiter different to a sky panel, for example? Apart from it, one being point source and one being LED panel.
Well, that's the obvious immediate differences to the naked eye. You see, one is a point source, one is a flat panel LED version. But the Orbiter has a different type of light engine than the sky panel does. It's got a totally new type of light engine, or the item, the product that produces the light. So you've got it's a mixture of 6 different LED colors to give you your output in here, and a new Arri Spectra engine, which is the light engine behind it, the brains behind it. And with that, has given us more options to give us more precise color, to give us different types of cut, different types of extreme control. You can really pull and push all of those different coloured elements into various different funky colours or different ways of doing things if you wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to do that is really extreme in Orbiter. It gives you that chance to do much more with it. And then basically with the various types of light modifiers and optics and other accessories which will come along in the future, you're turning what seems to be one light into 5 or 6 different lights all at once.
Yeah,
and a sky panel will give you some of that to a degree, but it's just not as flexible as you have now with Orbiter.
Yeah,
Orbiter is a new thing completely. And it's the next level of LED lighting for us. Something we're very excited about. Still developing. Like I say, more accessories will come out in the future, where we have a list of things which we're already working on, and collecting ideas for others. From various people. So we're excited about where it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm so excited with this. And most of the light modifiers here, like the Octas and the softboxes and things, are obviously from DOB Choice, which the brand
one of our real close partner companies who we're working in a lot with at the moment.
Make all the modifiers for them and use them before. And obviously these are newer versions which are still very well built, but all pretty much pop up now.
Ease of use again. It really comes down to the ease of use. They are just so simple to use. Click them together and away they're gone.
And away they go. Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, we all know how it used to be, you get an Octabox and you've got to put force those bloody 8 rods in that little mounting bracket, which, when you got the last one in, you're relieved. But then when you finish your shoot, you've got to take it down, you think, just trying to get them out again was a bloody nightmare.
Yeah. The first 3 rods are always easy. After that, it becomes much more of a chore, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does,
it's, not so easy anymore.
Yeah, especially on fixed rings without a D-ring attachment. It was a pain in the ass. But nice to see the world is moving forward and becoming a bit more efficient and pop up. So looking forward to that. Now, I'm not going to go through the accessories we got, because without visually seeing them, if you're not experienced or it's hard to describe. But if you talking at this from a stills point of view as a photographer, the accessories we've got here are octaboxes, softboxes. We've got domes or china bowls, if you want to call them that. They come in various names. What else have we got? Barn doors, snoots. Obviously, the optics. They're in there as well. Which
it's a whole carload full, wasn't it?
Bloody array of stuff. Yeah, and currently I need to now find a new studio to fit it all in.
The next problem.
Yeah, and trust me, when I can see it in its case, there's no way on this planet you're going to fit that in a backpack. let alone carry it in a backpack, because the Orbiter's not. It's built like a tank, like everything else. But I'm going to have lots of fun over the next few months. Shooting with this thing and creating some beautiful imagery. And for people out there in the stills world, just to let you know, it may be LED and it is point source, but don't worry about not being able to shoot at sync speeds and camera settings like that. This thing does kick out a phenomenal amount of light. And even in commercial studios, when I tested it, I was shooting some fashion portraiture on the test, and we were still hitting 1/500th of a second shutter speed. Yes, it's not going to be 1/2000th, and you haven't got strobe freezing the action, but for the majority of uses, it's going to be absolutely fine with a lot more creativity options. Yes, it's not a cheap Chinese knockoff that you can get for £100 on the internet or $100, and it's not going to be like a little 60-watt bulb equivalent. It's built for serious heavy production with durability built to last for years in professional worlds. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, that's an awesome insight a little bit.
Well, I'm really looking forward to what you do with it. We're going to have to see where you go with it and what you do with it and images you create.
Yep.
It'll be interesting for us to see what you do and your ideas as well. I mean, you're bound to come up with ideas for things maybe we haven't thought about yet, or other ways to do things. So it's going to be interesting to see what you come up with, and looking forward to it too. Yeah,
well, we've already spoke previously, 2 years ago in prototype stage, didn't we, about getting a cold shoe adapter?
Yep.
Didn't we?
Yep.
And we won't go into the details of that because there's nothing to talk about at the moment. It's not in development or anything.
There's like I say, there's a list of things we're still working on.
Yeah.
But it'll be in there somewhere.
Yeah. And a cold shoe adapter, for those listening, going, what the hell's a cold shoe adapter? It's basically, it was my thought process at the time to be able to go from the current Arri fitting. What do you call it? Is that fitting got a name?
We call it the QLM. So quick lens mount.
Quick lens mount. Okay. So it was basically to take that equipment out. You have then an adapter, which comes down to, like a lot of my modifiers, a Bowens S-type fit, baby version of what we got on here. It would be nice in the cold shoe adapter to have, it then reduces down to a Bowens S-type fit where you could use other modifiers on the front, but that comes with its own problems because of the electrical contacts that talk to the light.
Yeah, these are issues that we can look at, and we'll look at in development as well. But I think all those things are doable for sure. Yeah. I think as we get more and more into hopefully we'll get more and more into the stills and video market. Those things will become more important for people as well. And I say if there's enough demand for products like that, then I'm sure that they're doable. It's not beyond the wit of anybody.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll quickly wink. He says I'll 3D print one out, and we'll give it a try.
Do have a go. Yes, yeah. We'll just split the proceeds. Don't we?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's coming to market in about 65 minutes. No, that's good. So for our listeners, I just want to say thank you to Lee for coming on the show today and coming down and bringing this. I've been waiting for the production model for such a long time, and obviously because of demand and obviously COVID and demand again on top of that, it's been hard to secure one, hasn't it? So I'm going to have immense fun with this thing, creating some beautiful stuff. We will be filming some bits as well. We've made a point of saying that we're going to film some stuff behind the scenes. I don't mean just a normal BTS, but we'll probably do a little production of some sort with a couple of camera setups. Filming it in my stills world.
Yep,
per se.
No, that sounds good.
And get something a bit more creative and get a nice production going on there. And before we go, enjoyed yourself today?
Absolutely, yeah. So thanks for inviting me. I'm glad you've got this kit now to play with.
Yeah.
Like I say, really looking forward to what you do with it. So let's see where we go.
Watch this space.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think that's awesome. Well, before we round off the show, I think it's time for that pint now.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
we've earned it.
Yeah. I think we've earned it today. Such carrying that in, Jesus Christ. But before we go, obviously you're not aware of this, so I don't expect you to answer it on the spot. This is where we ask you to personally recommend 2 creatives from either the photographic or the film world. Remember, they can be anywhere in that chain of creatives, from gaffers, electricians, colorists, stylists, directors, DOPs, first AC, sound technician, anything you want, to come on to Podlemania to come on and do an episode with us. And we ask you to get in touch with them and introduce us as an e-intro,
okay,
so that we don't get arrested for harassment. I know you've been put on the spot with this one because you weren't pre-warned about it. Anybody come to mind? Or you don't have to commit to that right now.
Yeah. No, I'll give it some thought. Yeah. I want to do it justice, so I'll give it some thought. Interesting. And maybe one of the ideas is we can talk about studios where we go next, because Arri's also getting into that market too, that kind of angle of production. So
sweet.
That might be something that you and your listeners might be interested in too, and that's something we're developing. That's something interesting to go see.
Next one.
Yeah, we'll keep that. Let's do that.
Yeah, but I think if we can get any sort of DOPs or directors, anything like that on that you guys have involvement with, then that'll be interesting as well.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely for that. Perfect, guys. Now, before we go, just let the audience know where they can find you. And obviously, I don't mean your home address and what your hobbies are at the weekend, but naturally, assuming we're talking about Arri here.
You can look up all of our products on just straightforward www.arri.com.
Yep.
You can see links there to all of our camera, lighting, and various other projects and things that we're getting involved with. Our location in the UK is in Uxbridge.
Yep.
Not very far away from Heathrow, for anybody that doesn't know. So it's a good location to be. We've got studio there. We're building a studio there.
Yep.
We have some demo products there that people can play with, and good to come and see you, or for you to come and see us, I should say.
Yeah.
You'd be welcome. Get in contact with us, anything you need, or through Wayne, and we'd be happy to try and help.
Yeah, indeed. And just those listening, you can also find them on all the social medias. So it's just Arri, really, on Instagram. Pretty much the same on Twitter, Arri channel. And YouTube as well is the Arri channel on YouTube. And also on Instagram, you've also got a separate site for the Arri rental side as well.
There is, yeah. Various parts or sections of the business have their own channels. But generally everything is, if you're searching for Arri, you'll find us, for sure.
Yeah, without
We're
a doubt.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it's not going to be a problem finding anything Arri related. Not for years. Okay, I think that's a great round off to the show. So remember, folks, if you'd like to help and support us to produce and record even more great interviews with some of the world's greatest creative talents, your support and donations are very much appreciated. And for those that don't know, you can find our donate button over on our website at podlemania.com/donate. And there's a couple of options there. You can go through PayPal or buy us a coffee. Remember, every dollar helps, or every pound helps keep the lights on here at Podlemania Towers. So let's call it. And remember, if you like this episode and you don't want to miss out on any new episodes, then please make sure you subscribe to us on your chosen podcast player. Or you can subscribe to us over at podlemania.com/subscribe to keep up to date with all the latest gossip that we have, any upcoming shows. But if you can find us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes Store, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, podlemania.com, Amazon. Now we're on there as well, and about 35 other podcast players across the world. And remember to leave us a like, subscribe, and share, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that is the main one for all our rankings. Apart from that, I'd just like to say, apart from that, I'd just like to give a big thanks for Lee for joining us today and for joining the show. It's been really good to have you on.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, it's been nice.
Really appreciate it. Now I think it's time for that beer.
Let's go.
Okay, folks. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll see you in the next episode.